Blessed ones, blessed ones, blessed ones. Just wanna come to you this evening to express something, share something with y'all, share some thought with y'all. Right? I was sitting here looking at the Mike Tyson's boozy conversation on YouTube, and he had said something very interesting, something that I always, lived by, always believed in. You know, we fight because we want to be right. We rather be right than be happy. And to a degree, that whole point is just pretty much based on our religious faith or spiritual faith. You know, I'll cut right to the chase. The reason why a lot of us are so prideful, self-righteous, even judgmental is because we was brought up that way. God is not a human being. God is an entity. And whether you believe that Jesus is the true living embodiment of God, or Allah is the righteous one, or Buddha, or whoever, whatever religious background you have, God is always the vocal point. Okay. Um, he was expressing to Boozy as far as what the whole comment he made about Dwayne Wade's son, and he was like, I agree with you, but who are you to who are you? Again, just going back to being self-righteous. I mean, we know nobody's perfect, but I think sometimes when we say that, and when we say only God can judge me, knowing that that is not what it means, we have to make judgment. We have to have judgment. That's how we make the decisions that's best for us. Us making the best decisions to survive, to, be, just to be happy, we would say, like I said, but we don't think about, we think about our happiness, so we fight to be right because we want to be smart. We want to feel like we're important. That is exactly the same thing that I always felt and how I feel. Not saying that people who choose to live their life on their own accord aren't, you know, that are wrong or not. I think we have make believe, this make believe notion in our head, narrative in our head that, you know, we're going to go to we're going to go to hell. The ironic thing about hell is Heaven and hell is what you make it. When you have so many resources, when you have so many ideologies, when you have so much knowledge, it can be a curse because now you're struggling trying to do what's best for your mental. You know, I get this talk all the time with friends that I have a tendency to cut people off. I have the tendency to just keep rambling and rambling. And I do my best not to. I do my best not to. But I listen. I listen. I think that's my biggest trait is that I listen. Even if I sometimes listen with intentions to speak, I still listen. I hear every word you say. I believe that I will be the best friend that anybody can ever have because there's certain things that I do. So the whole point of this video, right? Hmm, somebody walking now. The whole point of this video is that I wanna be clear on you know my feelings. I want to be as transparent as I possibly can. I want to be as open and honest as I possibly can. This isn't about me being right. This isn't about me being happy. This is just me expressing how I feel and being transparent. Probably the most transparent as I can be. Not gonna give you a whole life story, but I do want to be transparent about something. I care a lot about people. Maybe more than I should or more than I need to, but that's my gift and my curse. Because feelings are gauges, I believe. You know, we have to have empathy. I have to have like I am empathetic of people. This isn't about the Bible. This isn't about the logic of society. But I just wanted to do this because I feel like those of you who are subscribed to me, those of you who I subscribe to, those of you who are following, attentive to, I embrace you all as, people, my people that, the blessed ones, the loved ones, because even though I might not know all of you, even though I might not have met all of you, you are giving me time. You are spending even a second or 2 minutes to hear what I have to say, and you don't know me from a can of paint. But I'm just going to be transparent. The reason why it touched me so much with that interview, the hot boxing interview with Mike Tyson and Boozy, was because I struggle with that all the time. I struggle with, you know, passing judgment on people because it doesn't I it doesn't I don't agree with what certain things are. I don't agree with this or I don't believe this is so. You know, and that's okay. I don't think we have to always express how we feel. It's not good to it's not always a good thing to give your to give unsolicited advice. Yes, I do believe in God. Yes, I do trust God. I do put my faith in God. I do believe He left a purpose here for everybody. He left a purpose here for me. He left for there's a reason why I feel these things. There's a reason why I feel empathy. There's a reason why I also feel dismissive because I've been rejected many times. I've been ignored many times, but I've also been oppressed. Whether it was in my family, whether it was in school, whether it was at work, whether it was just anywhere. I'm like I said, I'm not some, flashy type guy. I think I've always been kind of genuine, you know, and I'm not gonna say that was always. I'm not gonna say that's due to my upbringing. It might be, but I think it's just because I care a lot. I understand. It's interesting because I believe that happiness is selfishness, and to some degree we have to be selfish. Happiness is something that we make it. We choose. That's a choice. Being happy is a choice. So is being mad. So is being opinionated. Here's my whole bottom line. My whole bottom line is this: nothing is more important and more valuable than life. Nothing is more important and valuable than life. You have, I have God that's up here. Love is also right here. Giving love, God, all on the same. That's kind of like the triangle, like the little three-way. And then there's life right at the bottom. Well, not at the bottom, but below that. When you give, giving is life. Love is life. God is life. But it's still like that. It's like a. I can't put it in words. You know what I mean. I hope. But life is the one thing that we take for granted. Now we have a lot of people who are so stuck in their ways that they don't want to change. We have some people who don't know who they are, so they decide to let people dictate their life for them. And then we also have those people who know who they are, know their worth, but they still don't know. Um, like I said, the Bible was what I was brought up on. Shame on me, I didn't educate myself a little bit more on other other books, I guess, because to me, I'm a student of knowledge. I want to have information. I'm one of the people that wants to be right, who don't want to speak unless I know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, I love to learn. That's why I listen. That's why I ask questions. You know, Someone who is a father, a dad, a godfather, a brother, an uncle, ex husband, friend, whatever. I am a man of faith, a man of God. And because I am a man of God and a man of faith, I do not try to be somebody else's God. The only thing that I can be is I can be someone else's leader, someone else's light, someone else's direction to God, but I don't want to be somebody else's God. I have to make judgment decisions for myself so I can keep myself protected, keep myself guarded, keep my family protected, keep my family guarded. However, there's also something that I do know, something that I have learned in life. As you can do right, you can do everything right, and things still go left. That's why I say life, heaven, and hell is what you make it. Because you can do everything right. You can listen. You can go look at your Bible. You can follow the laws and all this stuff. But you're still going to go through certain things. There's still certain things that's not going to go your way. And I know what Scripture talks about. Um, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. All things are possible, and laying that towards our own understanding. That's the most important thing. Laying that towards our own understanding. Um, so I think sometimes when we criticize people, sometimes it's from a place of correction, but then other times it might be a place of entitlement or a place of oppression because it's like sometimes we hate ourselves. Sometimes I hate myself and I criticize people who are doing certain things that I'm like, there are certain things that I am, and I don't like other people doing it because I'm not proud of the things that I always do. And then there's people out here that's actually doing it and doing things, and it's like, man, y'all really out here doing it. I'm not a hater. I'm just an observer, and I'm like, man, I just realized something. I just realized that some of this stuff that I despise so much, I'm doing. So it's like two wrongs don't make right. So it's kind of like me making a judgment on myself. Like that's why when you hear people say people who has who has an opinion towards you is just them directing it to themselves. They're mad at themselves, and I've been guilty of that. You know, not lately, but it was just something that I used to struggle with because it's like, man, I'm sitting here struggling with this addiction, struggling with this issue, this problem that I know that I'm better than this, or something that I don't want to do, but it just makes me feel good, and I'm trying to remove it out of my life, but then I get, when I see certain things, see people doing the same things that I'm doing, I guess like I have withdrawals and flashbacks. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not so bad, but to me, it's like, no, that's not something that I'm proud of doing. I'm gonna let people do what they do, but I have to, remove myself from it. But but the reason why I express myself to a manner of, life is the most precious thing because I'ma just keep it 100 with you. This shooting? Oh no, I'ma keep it 100 with you. Certain things I do not care about, but then it's like there's things that I do care about, but and then the things that I don't care about, I start caring about because it's just so much that's like, man, I don't like stop trying. Like we have so we this so, like I was that same person. I wasn't a Bible thumper, but as I was learning the Bible and studying the Bible, being again, like I said, I grew up in a Christian household, but then becoming my own person, becoming a man, just becoming a better me. I wanted to get a little. I wanted to have my own personal relationship with God. So I was for a long time exclusifying God with Scripture, and I don't believe at all that he is just exclusive to scripture. There's certain things in there that make sense. There's certain things in there that don't make sense. There's certain things in there that are still going on. There's certain things in there that is out to date. Um, but my whole thing is I don't know. I pray, I trust, I believe, I'm try to be obedient, and then I let it go. So after I pray, after I give my all to God and give my faith to Him, I let it go. If if things still continue to happen, there's no reason for me to worry about it, even though I do. Because sometimes it's hard when you have, like, we're human, so we have vulnerable minds, we have vulnerable spirits. Especially me, I'm as I continue to get to know myself at 33. I realize that, man, I do not really believe everything that I was taught. I don't care about everything that I was taught. Me being a father, unfortunately for me, I have been through things in my life, and I made some decisions that put me in the circumstance that I am now. If you know, you know. But me being a father, and me having a relationship with my son, I realized, I was like, man, my son is the most important person in my life. It's kind of crazy because even with me, when I got married, I would say this. I didn't care. I mean, I'm so, I did. I cared about my wife. I loved my wife. She's my ex-wife now, but I, like, me as a husband, I loved her. I cared about her, and I mean, still do. We talk. Of course, we have to, but my son was still the most important person. I was like, man, that's my best friend. You know what I mean? I talk to my son. I'm a different type of parent, and I'm sure there's other people like that. And that's another thing I have to start focusing on my uniqueness as an individual, and really stop trying to make it as if I'm the only person different in the world. We all have our own uniqueness, but I believe that there are some people who think like me, feel the same way that I do, but I just feel like, as far as in my circle and my own world, I am my own person, and then like I said, I'm a little bit different from everyone else in my world, not just the world itself. I believe in different universes and everything, but like I said, with me being a dad and me being a parent, I'm sitting here like, I really love my son, and yes, I want him to. I want, there's two things. There's two things that I pray and I speak about my son, is two things. I'm gonna tell my son he can be anything he want. I told him this, but like throughout his whole life. He's only 4, but even talking to my stepdaughters or whatever. But my son, I told him, you can be you gonna be better than me, but you have to listen. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you anything wrong. Mom is not gonna tell you anything wrong. I hope, but I'm not gonna tell you anything wrong. But you have to listen. Nobody's gonna be able to tell you anything. The only thing that you cannot, the only thing that you are for certain is you are a man, a little young boy, and black. That's it. That was the only two things. Because being going back again to being relative to the Mike Tyson and Boozy interview, was he mentioned, talked about the whole comment that Boozy said, and like I said, I do agree with him. But it's not my place. I'm not nobody to tell somebody what they should or shouldn't do. Like, I have a responsibility to my own children. I have to redirect my children if they are wrong. Even the things that I think that they are wrong, that I have to redirect them. Whatever they become is what they will become. But as they are still young, I have to make sure that I make the best decisions for them. Um, but my whole point is, God, God allows these things, and And with that, I have to take some of that into consideration. I don't. It's not like when I before I was a parent, I would think about how what type of father I would be, and I think about it now. With me being a father now, I'm like, man, I can't wait until my son, becomes older. I want to see how it turns out, even though I'm still raising him. Mom's still raising him. We co-parenting, but with the society as it now, with everything kind of being like more out there. Like I said, I want to be transparent. We have transgenders out here. We still have races out here. Still have homosexualities out here. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said again, Sometimes it's not really necessary to share or give unsolicited advice. So I'm not gonna give you unsolicited advice, but I might just share my view. Nobody never asked, but I just wanted to share something because I just thought about it. Like, I love my son. I love my son. Life is more important than what you are. Life is more important than what you have. And what I mean is about what you are is like, okay, I don't care about someone being gay. I don't care about someone having a $20,000 Birkin bag, or I don't care about someone, you know, being, having, all these baby daddies, all these baby mamas. I don't care about that. What I care about is them you being alive. That's what I care about. I care about you being alive. Because like I said again, there's thing God allows these things. That doesn't have anything to do with our free will. We make those decisions, but free will isn't really free will. There's not everything that we can do, we shouldn't do. Everything that we should do isn't always the best thing for other people, but it's best for us. Blessed ones are I don't know, blessed ones. I just felt the need that I had to get this off. See, I don't have no therapy money. I like I said, maybe because I do pray a lot and I talk to God a lot. I do oftentimes get on my little Facebook rants and Twitter rants and Instagram, whatever. Like, I try to be the positive that I want to see in the world, but I also want to be, the another side of the coin. We have to change the narrative. Okay, we have to change the narrative of what is. We have people out here really trying to trying to condemn trying you have people really trying to condemn you for being gay, for being black, for being a cop, for being, just whatever you like, anything that you are that someone don't like, there's somebody trying to condemn you for it. Somebody that's trying to kill you and just slaughter you for it. Like, I am pissed off. I am scared. I am tired. But today has still been a good day. So, blessed ones, do me a favor. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of the people you care about. It's one thing, you can be there for the jokes and everything. Look at this cat just walking. Look, cat going on. Okay, so yeah, just take care of one another, okay? Like we can be here for the jokes, we can be here for the like, just to have a think piece, like, oh, why would this person do this? Why does this person do this? Yeah, that's fun. That's fine and cool. Create dialogue. Let's have a conversation going. But like I said, look, this is what I'm doing, right? Go to YouTube if you're well, this is YouTube, I guess, but go to YouTube, go to Apple Music, go to SoundCloud, go to Spotify, go to iHeart, go to Title, go to whatever. Type in Blair, and maybe you won't find me because there's multiple Blairs. Put in On the Way or Entrapment. There's a link in my bio. That's what I got going on. I got music, got videos. I'm working on books. I'm working on scripts. I'm working on a lot of different things. I think it's time we start having more serious conversations. If you don't want to have serious conversations, all right, let's talk about something that's not so serious, okay? We can talk about, sports and politics and all that stuff. We can talk about that. We can talk about the voting and all that stuff, whatever. But you know, every time you have an opinion on something, you don't have to share it. Every time you see something you don't like, you don't have to express it. But like I said, but like I said, we don't always have that conversation with God that we probably need to have. Not everybody believes in God. I'm not going to knock you, but I'm going to tell you God is very much real. And I will tell you this too, blessed ones. God is an entity. So sometimes those feelings, those negative feelings that you feel, like if you feel like those are negative, remove that out of your like that's the devil. God is love, but God is also rage. So we have to be able to differentiate the difference of rage and righteousness. Sometimes we think that you like it's easy to tell somebody what they don't need to be doing or why do people do this. But the thing is, what are you doing to help them? You can't sit here and tell somebody something what they should and shouldn't be doing if you're not going to help them. You can ask a question, but don't try to condemn somebody. Don't sit here and be like, oh, Google this or read this. No, tell them what you did. Tell them what you did to get out of that. Tell somebody what you did to get out of your own way, out of your path, out of your fire, out of your hole. And if you haven't never been in that situation because you've always been so good and so right, then why even have that conversation? You stay in your lane. You stay in your perfect world. Okay? But like I said, it's one of these. Life is one of these things. Life is one of the precious things. It's one of these things. Here I am talking, trying to tell people to do this and consider this if they don't do that. But it's like, well, it's whatever. I'm just fitting, I'm just expressing who I am. I mean, it says YouTube since hey, the world is crazy filled with people. So I'm just trying to give y'all a piece of me, letting y'all know that hey, I'm not a lunatic. I might have opinions, I might have different views, but I'm not a lunatic. I'm doing videos. I'm making videos on social media, ranting on social media, doing that, trying to get that frustration out and trying to give more care in the world and express more love, show more love because there's not enough in there. It's either that or hey, you gonna take your frustration out on somebody else. I'm not. I wouldn't hurt a fly. I can't even catch a fly. But whatever. But yeah, blessed ones. Like I said, man, it was just very. It was a very good interview. You know, so shout out to Mike Tyson and Boosie. The other two gentlemen that was in there, I'm not necessarily sure. It was just very like it was just very insightful. Um, the whole thing about the whole thing about religion and what your faith is. It's like we're conditioned that way. When I tell you this, when the scripture talks about certain things being an abomination, I'll tell you exactly why. We have to know who's talking. We have to know who they're talking to. We have to know who it applies to. Because I'll tell you this, there's the Hebrew Israelites, us, black folks, a lot of us believe that, or they believe that the Bible is for us, for God's chosen people, chosen race, the black people, whatever. And like I said, I'm not all the way educated on it, but this is what I know. I know that there was some things that we done it to, as well, and there's certain things that's not being brought up. There's certain things missing. There's certain things that was persuaded, but the thing is, we don't know. You have all this evidence, all this proof and stuff, but did we see? Did we see Jesus walk? Did we see Jesus walk? Were we here when Jesus came back? See, the Bible is prophecy. The Bible is currently, so it's one of these type things where we have we have our book. Let's say the King James version is the book of the righteous book. Like I said, that's the book that I was brought up on. That's the book that I go by. So let's just say that is the only book that matters. So what about the other people? What do they like? Where's their book at? If God placed, if we're His chosen people, if we're here to give His word, if we're here to show His way, then what's the books? What like where? I mean, I'm sure everybody else have their own book too, and that's not our issue. But my thing is, what are we doing? What are we doing to really help guide our people besides preaching to them, criticizing them because we get criticized. You know, I don't think I have anything left on this point. I just wanted to I just wanted to come out here and express. It's a lot. We deal with a lot. Me being black man in America. We are. I get scared sometimes when I hear about another kid just got shot by the police for playing with their toy. I think about my son. Another man just been shot in front of his wife and kid and girlfriend or and brother because he wanted to, stop and get some candy or something or go get some money out the bank or whatever. And I think about my parents. I think about me. I think about my brother. I don't want to hear none of this. We talk about being woke, but damn, like how woke do we have to be? You know, nature don't care about how you feel. God cares about how you feel. But the thing is, God is only one understanding. The whole point, the whole point of life is growing and the experience what the Lord experienced. We're gonna have good times. We're gonna have bad times. We're gonna have people that judge us. We're gonna have people that love us. But the point is, we are living. We have to live this life. We have to live in this world. But we don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to sit there and try to tell people like play God. God is going to use us for what He uses for. And if the devil's using you, it's because you wasn't listening the first time. Which is another thing I'm not even going to get on. Matter of fact, fuck it. I might as well go ahead and say this. If you're wondering why life hasn't caught up with you yet, if you're wondering why, how can this person be doing all this messed up stuff and still have money and still have these things, but I'm over here struggling, blah 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 blah. I said because you know better. The reason why we suffer is because we know better. A lot of people who don't know better or have not been able to really receive backlash for what they do is because they haven't got to that point yet. They haven't reached their full understanding of who God is to them. I live my life accordingly, but I also live life as if like look, I'm gonna treat everybody fairly. I'm gonna treat everybody justly. But hey, the thing about it is, I have to do better at treating myself like that. I have to treat myself better. Whether that deals with the people I associate with, whether that deals with the food that I eat, whether that just deals with the things that I allow people to do. Like, I don't have to give my attention to everybody. Family should be there for you more than anybody, yes, but sometimes family isn't. Sometimes family, like just like we are all are, we are in our own way. But like I said, what's more like? Are you really going? Like, we want what's best for the people we care about, yes. But the thing about it is, when we deal with certain things, like when we deal with pressure, we shouldn't be pressuring people we care about to do things like vote, like eating right, or like, hey, like work or anything. We shouldn't pressure people to do these type of things. These are certain things like that isn't really that organic. God reveals all to all of us. God reveals things to us, to all of us. I'm just tired of all of this. I'm just sick. I am sick and tired of all these false narratives. I'm sick and tired of all these poor judgments. People gotta live their life. People, sometimes we're just wrong because, like I said, once again, this is I have dreams, right? I have these dreams. I had dreams about dying. Had dreams about these things. But the thing about these dreams is every type of dream that I had, it ended up happening the next day or maybe right after, like not too far after. But it wasn't me, and it's just wild. It's kind of nuts, man. It's crazy, man. I just can't really put it into words to express it, but what's important what's important to you? We're so like again back to this, homosexuality thing, right? You can't be fruitful and multiply. Me being a man, I can't be fruitful and multiply with a man. I can't have kids with a man. You know, yeah, there's people that adopt, but like I said, but the kids still get here. So it's like when you have children, you need to take care of your children. But some people are just unfit. So this is why there has been people who had adoption and foster. So that's the explanation of why the scripture talks about homosexuality being an abomination, because you can't reproduce with the same sex. But is it necessarily wrong? I'm not going to say it is. I cannot agree with it, and I cannot be someone that practice it or does it, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. I'm just not interested. I love women. And then you have people who are fornicating, right? We can be on the same page and say, look, energy matters. So if you're sleeping with this man, this woman, if you're sleeping with multiple people, however many times, whatever, you're now bringing different energies within your spirit, and now you're trying to figure out why you don't feel good, why you can't, why you're so confused, why you got demons. This is why fornication would be, so wrong, because it's misdirecting you to bring you closer to God, having that relationship with God. But like I said, everything leads to God, so God allows it. Imagine if we, imagine if we didn't get tomorrow. Imagine if we did something today that was wrong, and being that we knew that it was wrong, because we I'm pretty sure, even if you don't believe it or study it, we all been somebody had always told us like, hey, wait till married to have sex. Wait till you're married to have kids. Hey, don't don't be gay. Hey, don't sleep around. Don't rob. Don't steal. Don't cheat people. Like we all heard. Like we all got this information. So it's not like we don't have the knowledge of it. So we can't get mad when consequences come to us because somebody told us. But because people lie, we gonna believe what we want to believe. We're gonna do what we want to do. I'm not somebody to tell somebody that they're wrong. I can feel like that they're wrong, but like I said again, my faith. I want my faith to be my faith. I want my what I deal with, whatever thing that I got, whatever wrong or sin that I deal with. I want God to deal with it. I want it to be. And like I said again, God uses us as a vessel. But you can know, you really know when it's God speaking to you, and not just somebody who wants to be judgmental and just condemn you and stuff. There's a difference. So I want to be able to. Me and my friend was having a conversation, and what was it in Philippians? It said, "Work out your own salvation." Mm-mm-mm. Work out your own salvation. God. If God got us, why are we fighting? Why are we fighting to be right? Why are we trying to impress people? Say, oh look, I know something, you know. But like I said, I was supposed to have been done with this video, but I just get sometimes I get carried away. My cousin was like, "Dang, you should have called," because I was just saying something to him on Instagram about certain things, and it's like, man, I fear. Why have I been cursed so much to care? Here's another interesting point about me to be as transparent. I care about people, right? And because I have that empathy, because I care, like I care for my family, I care for my friends, and because I have that empathy with people like my sons, like my brother, like my father, like all the people that I care about. Because I have empathy, I also have empathy for people that I probably don't know, people that probably don't give a shit about me or nothing, and that's normal. Okay, we have convictions. Emotions are gauges because we have to show you know some type of compassion for people. We're also gonna deal with being angry, sad, all these things. And because of that, just like God will use us to speak through somebody else, the devil can use us. That's why it's so important, I'll say just for me, to be as close to God as I can. So if I feel mentally drained, if I feel spiritually overwhelmed, I might take a nap. I might get off social media. I might not talk to nobody. I might even do one of these sometimes just to get it off my chest. I might just document it and then just look at it later. And then I'm always record something that I think is useful. But whether or not if I want to share it or not, I might do that because I know that we all have something that will help somebody, no matter what it is. We have to remember sometimes we have to go through things just to get to God and understand God more. So for people who are trying to force, trying to force good into somebody's life and force, righteousness in somebody's life, force. And when I say force, it's like, look, you can't force it. You can't even enforce it. You just if you feel like you have to do it, then go ahead and do it. But just remember, God always shows you who's God. The thing is, we don't, and this is the reason why nobody's perfect. This is the reason why we don't even know, not like we don't know anything. Because even with the wisdom that we have, I can give you the give go to I can go to all these scriptures. I can go to all these books and laws and say this is what this said, this is what I've been through, and it can still not be. It can still not be. It's a little pessimistic, but it can still not be. We have to go by our faith. Faith goes a long way. If you believe that, then that's what you believe. But it's okay to say that you're wrong. It's okay to say that you don't know. Struggled with that for a long time. So I just want you to consider. It's just something for you to think about. Sometimes I can be a little thought. I can just have people be thought provoking, but I don't know. I get like this sometimes. So those of you who are still listening, thank you. Those of you who left, thank you. Whatever. But yeah, like I said, I'm somebody. I'm somebody, but I'm nobody. I'm just me. My name is Anthony Donnell Blair. You can call me Blair, the blessed one up. Like I said, go to the link in my bio. Check out some music, some instrumentals or whatever. Look at some videos, some funny, some artistic, and like I said, I'll be putting up more videos more. So yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and address that. I mean, hey, y'all spend all this time looking at, you know, Oprah and Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives and watching Ding Dang Breakfast Club interviews, listening to Joe Rogan and listening to these politicians debate for 3 hours. Y'all better let me talk for an hour or two. I mean, I ain't gonna say an hour or two, but y'all better give me a chance and let me talk. Okay, I got something to say too. Like motherfucker, like Donald Trump ain't Donald Trump. What? Like, hey, do you know Donald Trump personally? Do you know Joe Biden personally? Hey, you can know me personally. I will talk to you. I will respond back because hey, I'm not that important in that type of world. But I mean, it is what it is. How do I cut this freaking flashlight off? But okay, yeah, that's all I got for y'all. All right. Happy Halloween, happy election day, whatever. Stay blessed, stay positive, prosperity, productivity, and remember, stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Make sure y'all social distance. Wear your mask. Stay in the house. Go to work. Get this money. Take a bath. Wash your ass. Laugh if you want. Cry if you need to. I'll be here. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, the Blessed One Up. That's BLSD1UP, or follow me on Facebook. Add me on Facebook or whatever. Everything's up there. Like I said, it's up there. It is what it is. But I'm on. And make sure y'all be on the lookout for my new podcast coming in the Blair. Brought to you by AB1 Studios. One.